Mike, quit playing with the dubstep knob.
Okay, potential problems broadcast. How are you guys?
You're listening to the Potential Problems.
Oh, what? Oh, fuck. Anybody have any white? You have any white stuff? White stuff?
Podcast.
Hello, Potential Problems Podcast.
Oh man, do you have the emphysema?
No, I am no illness.
Emphysema!
No illness whatsoever, Alan.
Okay, good.
Hey, yes. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Quare. That is
Alan.
And today we have a special guest. This is really the, I guess, the second time that the coronavirus has forced us to do a.
Well, no, the first time was Kevin Baca's battles forced him to be virtual.
Oh yeah, but at that time the coronavirus stuff was just starting, right?
It was in its hipster. I was there early stage.
Yeah,
yes.
And then we progressed. That was like 3-4 weeks ago. From that, we progressed to total shutdown for pretty much most businesses. Unless you're what they deem essential workers or poor people, otherwise known as people at the bottom of the ladder, folks. But you know what? That's kind of a cool thing because it just proves that no matter how big the biggest corporation, the most influential corporation America is,
we're in the podcast
it's
right
still
now.
Us, the tiny people at the bottom, that make the things go.
It's actually the first time we got Skype going on, so this is actually kind of cool.
Are you there on Hell? Can you hear me, buddy? Hold on.
What's going on, man?
There we go.
You were just mouthing words. You tricked us.
Yeah,
No.
Like you were in a silent movie.
Okay, it's kind of weird now because you guys kind of introduced on my stream as well too and everything, and I didn't think about it.
Really?
I was just like, oh damn, I should have had my own thing before. I was like, hey, guys, I'm getting in a call with you guys. But it is what it is. It already happened.
Well, do your open.
Yeah.
Do your open.
What's up, everybody? This is MuseMe TV, episode 96 now. God, we're almost at episode 100. We're almost there. We're so close. This is actually our first time ever doing the Skype or like a video chat call podcast with. We got Potential Problems podcast in the studio, kind of. They're here. And yeah, this is a first for me. I'm actually really excited, and hopefully I don't fuck this up. But hey, here we go, right?
Yeah, no, it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. The audio's good. The video's good. Man, this coronavirus has pushed us into a new age of technology and communication.
Powered by Zoom, apparently.
Oh man,
Powered by Zoom, right?
Yeah, I can't believe how many people are actually using that more now. I'm just like, whatever happened to Skype? Does nobody want to use that anymore? Or like you suggested freaking Discord, and I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot we could use Discord as well.
It's built in. It's free. You can have up to 9-10 people on a direct message call. It's perfect.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, so the technology right now, it's kind of pushed us to use this technology. And I mean, it's certainly a different things that we've all had to get used to because of this coronavirus pandemic bullshit. Which, fuck this disease, this virus, whatever it is, a virus, that's what it is. But it's horrible. Yeah.
You're getting inconvenienced by now?
It's inconveniencing everybody and killing a few people. But it's horrible, man.
And it's also turning people paranoid. I just got to say that, too. It's like people are just freaking out and like even doing things that they wouldn't even want to do anymore. Like, oh, man, I shouldn't even go out anymore. Or, oh, no, I can't do that. Or it's just turned into like, constant like fear of this virus.
Well, what do you, man, every time I open Facebook, every time, dude, there's nothing that's not coronavirus now pretty much related. I mean, it's very rare, or either that or it's the fucking challenges. Have you done any challenges on Hell?
No, not yet. I saw actually Rusty do that putting your shirt on backwards, when he was upside down I really want to do that now. And just like, I should do that. That should be an internet challenge.
Yeah, people are getting creative now that they're staying indoors and such. Look at the silver lining here is that no matter, if this was going to happen sometime in history, this is the best time for this shit to happen. We have the technology. We have the fucking scientists who have access to this technology. From what I hear, virologists, people who are working on the diseases that affect Alan, what they were doing is they've dropped everything they're doing. They said,
they put it down, open up shop.
Yeah, they're like, fuck Alan's disease. We'll work on that later. HI what?
That's not that big of a problem.
And now they're like all concentrated on this coronavirus. They're developing a vaccine, which no matter how quickly they develop it, it's going to be about a year from when they figure it out to when they actually put it out. But I hear that they're close to figuring it out. So that raises your hopes a little bit.
Yeah, that
again, if it can happen at any time, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially now, I guess it's even weirder because like everybody was not expecting something like this, to be honest. Like they like the H1, right? The bird flu or whatever, that was kind of like the same kind of thing going on, right? It's like people freaking out and stuff, but how come?
I'm pretty sure I had that, and I went to a swim meet and probably infected more people with it.
But like, isn't that kind of like the same kind of thing that we're dealing with right now? I mean,
the same virus?
No, not really the same virus, but kind of the same kind of category of what's going on. Like, this new virus that is introduced to us, and we don't really have a cure for it or anything yet. So they didn't really tell us to stay indoors or like not to avoid people or cancel school at that point. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people got sick with the H1, the bird flu, and just totally freaking, that was it with that.
Yeah, because how are you going to stop some birds, man?
I mean, they migrate all the time.
We're just like, you know what? We're really lucky that it's not the Spanish flu now that Trump is our president. That's his wet dream.
The Mexaflu.
The Mexaflu. You're talking about the Mexaflu. Sir, President, that's very racist. People are calling it the Spanish flu. Oh, the Mexaflu, huh?
That'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he would definitely seize upon this. So we're another silver lining there is they're not calling it the Spanish flu either. But yeah, it's really changed the way we do a lot of things. Have you binge watched anything or watched anything that you wouldn't have had chance to? Or
first of all, I learned how fucked up America is now even more from watching these documentaries on Netflix. I mean, Tiger King, what the fuck? How to fix a drug scandal, what the fuck? Don't fuck with cats, what the fuck? Like, all of this shit is so crazy that it's going. I didn't know any of this. Did you see any of those at all? Like, those were so ridiculous.
Alan saw Tiger King. I did not see it, but I feel I've got the gist of it.
No, you need to see it.
Yeah, Alan, you what's the thing that you took away from Tiger King?
Meth, man.
Oh, it's a meth.
Yeah, it's just like, it's quintessential Oklahoma, in my opinion. I've only been there a couple times, but it makes sense. It's absolutely like, yeah, why not have tigers and lions in a tornado zone?
That was pretty crazy when they had that shot of the tornado, and it's just like, yep, this happens all the time. Just like, what is going on?
There was my buddy. He was a tornadoologist, and he had this invention, right? And it was this invention with all these balls that, like, you put into a twister, as they call it, into a tornado, and they send it up, and it tracks the tornado, and then it predicts like where the tornado is going to go, who it's going to suck up, and like what damage it's going to do. And my buddy, he had this invention, but then this other guy who had corporate funding stole this fucking invention. Can you believe that?
Holy shit.
Yeah, so here it is.
Here, let me share screens with you real quick, so you can see what we're
That's
working
not
with.
it, is it?
Let's see, how do I
Is that
change
the
the
actual
screen?
invention? Hold on, we're working on this here, sir.
Screen 2. Yeah, so now you might see yourself, but you also see this, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Oh
that's
my
the weather.
Oh man.
Yeah, so anyway, these guys with corporate funding, they like stole his design, but then they ended up getting killed by a tornado. And my friend, he ended up getting back with his ex-wife, and they like made a tornado invention, and now they live happily ever after. So it was a beautiful thing. Do tornadoes scare you?
They kind of do a little bit, but then like, don't people go chasing for them? Like, you know, they're trying to actually go find them and just like do a bunch of like readings and stuff so that they know like this is how powerful it gets.
Yeah, there's like a
bunch of dudes that go to a club to instigate a fight.
Yeah, well, there's one guy that was pretty extreme. Do we have like audio of that guy who was really extreme? Maybe.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of this extreme storm chaser guy.
I'm basing everything I know about tornado chasing on that stupid movie Twister. That's what I'm basing it all off of.
Yeah, what's this dude's name?
Dusty.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's a name for a twister right there.
Chasing.
Can we get can we play any part of him saying anything?
Yeah,
or
the audio won't come through for him on his side.
We don't need to. Anyway, yeah, he was very extreme.
Oh man.
Would you ever chase towards a tornado?
See, I don't know. Like, is it kind of like how close can you get before it actually starts sucking you in? Like,
it depends.
What's the suck zone?
Is it an 5?
Oh shit! Do you know? Have you ever heard about an F5?
An F5? No, like of what it can like pull through.
It's the finger of God.
What?
It's the prick of. I mean,
finger of God.
That's an F5. An F5 will. An F1 that'll relocate your house pretty good.
Okay. Those are like measurements. Those are measurements of a tornado.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Are you talking about a keystroke or something?
And then don't even get me started on the Control F2.
So F5 is like the most extreme. Hold it down.
Yeah. F5 is very extreme.
You don't bring up F5 lightly, is
If you do, stuff starts dropping because people are just so shocked by what the F5 is, the sheer destructive power.
Doc, I can't believe it.
Did you ever know there's a suck zone?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, how close is that
right
part?
on the waist.
Yeah, how close can you get to the suck zone and just stick your dick into the suck zone and be like, this is awesome?
Just enough to feel it move. Well, I think it would be I think it'd be a lot better if you had like, you know, some kind of like fleshlight or something just at that angle, so it kind of feels like it's working. You know, it's actually a real motion.
You open the back of it up towards the tornado so it gets the suction pulling.
Yeah, it's just
part of the concern is that there'd be like a bunch of debris. Like there'd be a bunch of fucking sand and twigs slamming into your dick at 80 miles an hour.
Oh God, it's painful.
Well, let's just hope when you finish, no women's eggs get sucked out of them into the tornado. Also,
Yeah.
No one wants any field babies raining down.
That's so bad.
So because of all this, did you I know you were starting to like play in a band a little bit more, right?
Yeah, I actually have just been what I've been doing now since this whole quarantine thing is happening is just been like revisiting all of my skills. Like if you've noticed, I put up a slow motion video of me nunchucking. I've been working on that a little bit more. Also my card magic, like just being able to like do sleight of hand really easy. I've actually been working on another video that I hopefully will post up tonight, if not tomorrow for sure. And then, just again, working on the stuff that I don't really have a lot of time for, that like I just don't really do, that I'm just like, oh, maybe I'll get to it eventually. And then 2 days pass and I don't even do it or something. So I've been trying to like,
now here's the time.
Yeah, I've been totally trying to like kind of organize what I do throughout the day so that I kind of do a lot of different things instead of just being like, oh, well, I played guitar for quite a bit today. I don't really have to do anything else, but I should do other things because keeping those skills kind of heightened, you know, kind of helps all the other skills, I feel.
Yeah. Do you, as a magician of sorts, are you pretty impressed by the David Blaine's level of street magic? Would you say? Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, unfortunately, the more you learn magic, you know that everything is just fucking. It's just an illusion. Like I hate those people that I still get wowed by, and I'm just like, hey, how did you do that? And they're just like, it's magic. And I'm just like, dude, oh my God, this is why I hate magic, because in my sense, I want to be kind of like the magician that's just like, hey, I'll wow you, but I'll still show you how to wow people. And not a lot of people are into that, because it's just like, it's our art form. It's our like talent. You can't really, you have to earn that respect in a certain way. You have to go out there and find it yourself. You just can't really, hey, this is how the trick's done. And if you want to do it, you can, or you don't. It's weird.
Did you hear that David Blaine was I guess, I don't know if you'd say frequent, but he was a passenger multiple times on the old Lolita Express, the old, what's that guy's name? Who's the guy? Epstein plane.
Jeffrey Tambor?
No, Jeffrey Epstein. They said that David Blaine flew on his plane a few times. I don't know.
It didn't
disappeared before they landed.
I know, right? Just like, we're not in this island anymore.
I'm going to make my cum disappear down someone's throat.
But didn't Epstein have a bunch of like celebrities and a bunch of random people that are now just like, oh, I did that, but it was a bad choice of mine, or some people are just totally denying it?
Yeah, well, they're not really talking about it because they know just mentioning it. Like, so that's one of the conspiracy things that people point to, is that there are so many famous that could potentially be involved in that.
Okay.
That, you know, they're not speaking up. And, you know, someone basically was like, look, it's so important that Jeffrey Epstein just dies so that everybody else, because it's just too big a thing to let go. So I don't know. That's, I mean,
or he slipped and got tangled in some bed sheets.
I don't know. That looks like some strangling there.
Why couldn't he die masturbating like all of the other old guys do, right?
Oh man, that's the way to go for reals.
I don't know that. Yeah, this whole thing about not being out at gigs and not like that's the weirdest thing. Is there's never been a time in history when, like in modern history, where you couldn't do things because of a health crisis.
That's true.
I guess that's the trippiest thing about it. It's like people can't be around each other, and that's very. You see how much people do not like that. As much as people bitch and piss and moan about traffic and being in a crowded area, if you notice, it's very unsettling to everybody, pretty much, the majority of people, to not be around others.
Or just,
I feel kind of guilty because I love coronavirus traffic on the way to work. I leave 15 minutes before work and I'm walking right into work, right on time, no fucking delays. I love the fact that I've got extra days off of work and that I'll probably get a stimulus check and I'm still making, you know, a little bit. Granted, it's decreased hours, but
that's not everybody's experience.
Exactly. I feel guilty.
Like I'm still working full time.
Well, yeah. Alan.
Lazy.
Yeah, I know, right? Jesus. I think I've been having to pull some extra hours too, because just like of the procedures of going to work, and we right now are using all like silverware and plates and stuff, but eventually we're gonna have to like stop doing that because everyone's just gonna have like paper products and stuff, and then our hours are gonna start getting cut and stuff, because like that's like, you know, that's man hours that can be cut down, they're saying.
Yeah. Well, the companies, they're in an interesting position because it's like, hey, they have to stay financially solvent or viable. But at the same time, you know, all these people that aren't getting these hours, it's like you want to pay your workers, I'm sure.
Yeah, and
especially the sex workers.
How do you feel the fact that like this whole stimulus package or whatever is coming through, but where is gonna what is it gonna do to the economy? Like, obviously, this money isn't really created from nowhere, and when it is created, where does that money get placed on everybody else?
Isn't it the government is basically saying, hey, we're going to borrow money from ourselves and we're going to give it to y'all and you'll be happy because you're plebes and we know that you need the money.
And you're going to spend it all on drugs.
No, I think what they expect is the whole thing about getting the economy or stimulating it is knowing that people's rents will be paid, hopefully, that people's cable or gas or whatever the fuck it is that they can pay. Hulu, that they'll pay their bills, they'll have access to their Netflix. Here's one thing. Imagine how crazy people would be if all this shit happened and they couldn't pay their Netflix or their shit that they need to be inside with. Like people get so pissed if you made them fucking go back to books, dude. Oh my God, would people lose their shit if they had to go back to reading books, dude? That's why, it's kind of one of those things and it sounds bullshit or conspiracy, but it's just a thing about society is that you just have to keep the people happy. If they get too fucking pissed off and they don't have access to entertainment or a way to distract them from how shitty life is, well, that's where you run into problems where people are in the streets protesting or, starting glory holes in inappropriate places.
And that's the hardest part to think about too, is like in America, we have so much of those freedoms that people don't want to be told to, like, hey, stay indoors. Hey, keep to yourself just for a while. Don't do it. What people think is like, oh, you guys are telling me to stay indoors and to be like away from people. What if this never changes? Like, even if the virus and stuff kind of like gets pushed away, what if these regulations kind of get pushed into everyday life? Like, kind of like incognito,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a conspiracy nut. I love thinking of conspiracies.
Yeah, I remember we kind of went into a little bit of that previously when we sat down for your podcast the last time. Before, how crazy is that? Was that like October or something? That was just a few months ago, and the world was so different back then. In a few months.
It's so weird to think about that too. Is that you say the world was so different? Like, oh man, what's going on?
Cliche, but it's true.
I know.
Have you seen Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of England, who got the Rona?
About to see it now. Johnson. There he is.
Boris
Look at this guy.
First of all, he looks like the British Office version of Trump.
Oh,
like
man.
if they made if like the West Wing was the Office and the British were going to do it, they'd be like, oh yeah, that's typical what an American would look like. So Boris Johnson, he got the coronavirus, and I was wondering, how could you tell? Looks like he had the fucking coronavirus before.
Right? It looks like he's got something more.
He's all crazy.
He's got more than just the coronavirus, man. That's sure. But yeah, I've never. And his hair is just totally everywhere and stuff. I've never really seen a lot of pictures of him. I heard about this, but yeah, I didn't know.
He looks like a poor clone of Trump, right? They took it like halfway out before it was done.
Yeah, that's so funny.
But he got the coronavirus and he wound up in ICU, which is pretty fucking nuts.
Better than ending up in ICP.
Oh yeah.
And that's so crazy too, that some people aren't even affected by this at all. Like no symptoms, nothing, but they have the virus.
Yeah, some people are getting 4-hour erections.
Dude, that sounds like something I need.
Apparently you've never heard of Blue Chew.
Oh.
Hey, actually, let's go into a little bit of personal stuff here. I was having a little bit of I was having some concerns.
Oh no! With your friend?
Well,
your friend downstairs.
Okay, so I was having some concerns recently.
No, not Little John. Not Little John.
How could I say? Because I've been in I guess you could say in a relationship now for about a month or so, right before all this stuff happened.
Polly Walnuts tells you wear a condom. He's on the soundboard.
Safety first.
Oh yeah, that's right. Polly Walnuts. Are you a fan of Polly Walnuts?
I do not. I am not. I don't even know who he is.
Safety first.
He's this guy from Sopranos.
Oh, dude. I feel so bad when there's shows that I need to watch still, but I haven't watched. Like,
it's a good one, man. There's like 7 or 8 seasons.
Damn, yeah, that's one that I still. Everyone always tells me to get that and The Wire. Everyone says you still need to watch that, and I'm just like, oh man, but then it's so much, and the new stuff. How am I supposed to keep up with everything?
Yeah, there's a lot to keep up with. Speaking of keeping it up, so
Little John.
Right? Because the first couple times it was not as easy. Now I'm a man of 42 years young, and let me tell you that it's been.
Sorry, I'm trying to be more. I understand.
You're being supportive.
Yes.
And I've had my share of pussy. Let's be honest here. In my 42 years, many people have done way better than I have. quality and quantity. But in my own humble opinion, with what I have to work with, I have done all right. I'm not being conceited. I'm say I've been very fortunate to have a few women allow me to have sex with them.
Nice.
And they were always way more gracious and way more beautiful
Than
and
the
way
men were.
Yes, exactly. Well, I mean, look at Alan.
Sometimes it just changed.
Yeah. But I had been like a few months, maybe a year or so, since I had been intimate with someone. And recently I had some concerns that maybe at my age of 42 years young, that maybe I wouldn't be able to perform as
vigorously
as I had previously, or with as much ease. You know how you just like pinch the tip sometimes and it's hard for like an hour?
Wow.
No, okay. You know how how some days you're just ready to, have intercourse.
Yeah.
Because you're like, hey, you just wake up and you're like, you know what? Something about today. So anyway, it's very easy when you're young, at least it was for me, to be able to be in the mood and be ready. But at 42 years young, I have to tell you, it takes a little bit more for me to be quote unquote ready, almost to the point where I thought I might have to buy some Blue Chew.
Oh my God.
No shame in it.
No, there is no shame in it. And
No.
I ordered it, but I answered falsely to one of the questions about high blood pressure. So I might stroke out.
just so you know.
Yeah, just so you know, I might stroke out now.
Well, John, let me tell you, it's good shit.
Oh, really?
I'm aware. I'm acquainted.
Yeah, because don't younger people, even still in maybe their early 30s and stuff, use it just to have an erection longer with women, or even younger guys in their 20s, early 25 and stuff. They're like, I don't want to nut so fast, so I'll just take Viagra and be able to go all night.
Well, let me tell you, it doesn't work like that. But what it does allow is just to keep going after. It's not so sensitive once you're done.
I get what you're
So
saying.
you can go right back in.
Gotcha.
And still not make her seem like, I'm done. I can't do it no more.
Yeah.
And what about meth? Doesn't meth do the same?
Yeah.
No, meth makes you come in 4 strokes.
Oh man.
You sounded very intrigued.
Well, I was more intrigued that it was the cleaner version of Adderall. That's why.
Oh shit.
Oh,
yeah, so
actually I have a question after that. Still though, when this does happen, when you're thinking about wanting to order this stuff, is it because you didn't perform so well, or you're just I think I need to just try it just in case it doesn't work out as well as I always have planned? Or I'm confused on when when you really want to, when you really got the decision.
Let's just say my performance was not what it has been traditionally.
Oh.
And Alan,
I wish I could hit the soundboard.
And it was, what was that? The crickets. And anyway, it was concerning to me because I care for this person and I want to knock it out of the park. And also as a source of just personal pride, I've never really had an issue with that. One thing I have noticed as I've gotten older is it's not easy for me to be with someone who I don't know or who I don't have certain feelings for.
You're not into strange?
You're not into hit it and quit it?
No, it's very weird because for the first 32 to 34 years of my life, that was pretty much what I was after and pretty much how most of my relationships were. I was, in relationships, but of course we cheated on each other type of things.
Normal stuff.
Yeah, So, but now as I find myself getting older, I think it's a little bit more important to know this person. And I have proof because recently, this opportunity presented itself again to be intimate with this person. And boy, were we intimate. And it was pretty fucking amazing. And it was pretty awesome. And it was not disappointing. And we felt really close together. Thank you.
Sorry, I have a crowd that applauds. They're going,
all right.
they're
Thank
going
you.
crazy. They're. I mean,
Yes.
unfortunately for me, due to this whole, well, no, actually, it's been quite a while, even before the quarantine, unfortunately. But I've been hitting and missing this whole time. I haven't been able to get in there and just really, swing a good one.
Well, you're young, so that's kind of like a good thing about where
you've
you're
got time to tear up some puss.
Now, here's the thing: is that this happened before I got my Blue Chew. My Blue Chew is still in the mail somewhere, and I just didn't need it. But the proof was that
In the pudding.
in the pudding, as they say, as Cosby would say. And the proof was that once I felt comfortable with her, and once we had time to just kind of sit there and be together, it was harder than a rock, as AC/DC would say. Okay, maybe not harder than a rock, but it was pretty goddamn hard.
It was there.
For a 42 young man. You're young man, yeah. So anyway, that's like something that I encountered recently, and I just want to tell you guys, as you get older, oh man, appreciate those hard-ons in your 30s even.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
You mentioned that you were having maybe not we'll say that you haven't hit a home run in a while.
Well, no,
5 years, huh?
It's been that long, man.
Not being up to bat.
No, it's always been like, I guess I'm just gonna go into it. Like the latest thing was kind of like it was a little fling, but it wasn't like something I was into so much. So when it happened, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get laid, blah blah blah, and then it happened, and it's like, oh, I still have to like talk to this person, and like most of my emotions and stuff were like my heart-on was talking more than my actual brain was. And now that it happened, it's just awkward. And that opportunity has arose 2 other times in different locations. I don't want to say that it's at work or anything, but it's weird.
Oh yeah, those seniors are sexually active.
Dude, you would have. Oh man. Actually, very true. But yeah, it's just weird because especially now, it's just not like something that is. Now that I think about it more, it's just like I wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things that I do if I did have like a girlfriend that I can regularly have sex with or something, because then it'd be like, oh, you're practicing your nunchucks again? Can't we just hang out and talk? Or like, stuff like that in my sense, I feel like is kind of like weird. And I think I'm going off topic about my relationship life, but yeah.
No, isn't that one of those instances where maybe you'd probably say like, hey, I don't feel like there's that connection. So maybe we could just bone or not, but we could still be friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you ever had one of those, as they call it, friends with benefits?
Friends and Benedicts.
Not really. I've had like kind of like one night stands where we kind of like knew each other for a few days and then we had sex and didn't really talk after that, but not like the whole, hey, you can hit me up whenever you want, or I know if you're lonely and I'm lonely, we can both have fun with each other. I haven't really encountered that yet.
Yeah, I was a couple years back. I was dating this married broad, and well, she wasn't married. Okay, well, okay, she was married.
She was married.
Yeah, sorry. No, don't do that. It was a horrible marriage. Here's the thing: if it wasn't a horrible marriage, I would have been a horrible person.
I hear you.
As it was, I knew
You're trying to swoop in and put an end to that shit.
This marriage was the Titanic hitting a fucking iceberg, and I was just trying to chip off a little bit of the old boat before it hit that major iceberg, But it was one of those things where she would hit me up, and we would have sex for a few months, and then I could tell she was probably hitting up other people too, and I was like, we have sex without a condom.
Safety first.
No, sorry. And I don't feel that it would be a great idea to continue doing that, knowing what I know about you. Basically, if she's going to have sex with me without a condom, who else will she have sex with?
That's just your low self-esteem.
But it's a good way to like analyze it. You're just like, well, she did it with me. Who else could she have done it with?
Yeah, again, that's one of those things. Like the older I get, like those situations, it's hard to be hard for those situations. You know what I mean? If you don't feel right about it, whereas before it's just like, where's the wet spot?
Yeah, that's true.
In my 20s, anyway.
In my 20s. 30s. 40 is the new 20, man, especially with
yeah,
with all those moves.
With Blue Chew?
With Blue Chew, you can get anything done.
We're talking about, speaking of reproduction, I asked you guys before this question before the podcast, and you guys answered it effectively. I asked you if a zonkey is an actual thing. A zonkey, a zebra, and a donkey, a cross. And you guys both got it right. You said yes. And yes, it is an actual thing. A story out of, where is this here? Kenya? A zebra at the Chiulu, we'll just say Cthulhu Hills National Park in Kenya was recently found with a peculiar looking foal by her side. It had stripes, but they weren't dark and barely covered her body. Let's see here. The Wildlife Rescue Rehabilitation Organization examined the foal up close. They were just excited, I tell you, to discover it was a zonkey, a zebra-donkey hybrid. I've never heard of that. Have you guys ever heard of that?
That's a first for me.
Looks pretty cool if you look at it. It's got,
horses and zebras are very closely related, anyways.
Are
like
they?
If I've heard the tale that if you let some horses go wild for a few generations, they start getting their stripes on their legs.
Oh, that thing
really?
looks so cute. What the heck?
It does, huh? Looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, I would totally get one.
I'm glad it's no reserve because that means some asshole won't shoot it.
No, but
poaching is up due to coronavirus. Yeah.
People totally need that
left in the
meat.
bush.
They need that meat. There's no meat at the grocery store. They got to hunt it themselves.
Hey, are we talking about Blue Chew again?
So what do you guys think about because you guys are UFC fans and stuff, what do you think about the cancellation of the UFC?
I called up Dana White and I said, look, Dana, babe, let's talk. And I was like, Dana, you really should just, I talked to Sanjay Gupta. Sorry, I dropped another name here. I talked to Sanjay Gupta, and he told me that since he knew I was a good friend of yours, that we should call you and have you cancel the USC. And so I called old Dana White and I said, hey, cancel that shit. And he was like, yes, sir. Sorry, sir. And he canceled it.
Damn. I mean, it reminds me of this comedian named William Montgomery, where most of his set is just him lying about stuff about himself.
Last Saturday, I was out doing
perfect. There you go. Alan, what the hell was that? Alan, what the hell?
Who the hell said that?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, William Montgomery's funny as fuck. He's got a podcast that's pretty funny. It's called
and Brothers and Cursors. Yeah,
it's a good show.
Those guys are funny. I love their shit.
Yeah.
But that little thing is like, I can't believe that Dana had to take the order from somebody else, since he's bought out by Disney. Like, there's like, no, you're not having this fucking event. I don't give a shit if you have your own island.
Mickey Mouse bent Dana White over and was like, look here, you're going to have to put this fight off.
Literally, dude. Literally.
Well, I think look at it as a business decision, basically. Disney knew that it would be kind of like bad press and that it might be more of a distraction.
Well, maybe they can say that when they start streaming UFC fights on Disney+.
That's what I'm waiting for.
I don't think they'd do that, would they? That's what ESPN Plus is for.
Yeah.
But I get your point, since Disney owns ESPN, and basically, like you said,
half the world.
They're the ones who said, so it's Disney, Google, who else owns a shit ton of stuff?
Microsoft.
Google, Amazon, right?
Yeah, Amazon too.
Vandalay Industries.
Oh, Art Vandalay.
Virgin Mobile. Did you guys know they own a lot of shit?
Really?
Yeah, Virgin Mobile does a lot of stuff. They even are going to be one of the first persons. Not only will the Elon Musk's company, but the Virgin Mobiles are actually making rockets to go into space and land back, like, you know, do both, like be able to take off and land back, so we don't waste a lot of shit. So yeah, Virgin Mobile's coming up with this shit. I was like, how the hell do they have a stake in all this?
I'm working on a rocket that takes off into outer space and
From your pocket.
Yeah, and then it lands back on the Earth, but it's also a transformer.
Dude, that's the future right there.
That is the future. See, that's another thing that came out of this coronavirus. I just made that last week because I had spare time.
Wow.
Just wrote. I sent it to NASA. Is that what they call it? NASA.
That's what it is now.
NASA. I sent it off to them and to the Virgin Galactic guys, and they said, "We're a record company. Get out of here." No, but actually, that is pretty crazy. Like, people are looking to get off this fucking planet. I think the most viable destination, like, to put our species on, is Mars, right?
I would assume, right? They have to, like, but it's going to take so much time, right? Like, what are they going to do? Make a bubble and then just start from there and then expand outward? Or are they going to, like they say, terraform the planet and then be able to pretty much re-energize it or whatever, or like turn it into Earth? But just, I don't know. Elon Musk was
what you do is you get a team of like 6 scientists, and you get them ready. You send them out there with a biodome, but it turns out Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin also snuck on board,
and then it just goes south.
Yeah, and then, but you know, the culture on Mars because of that will be so amazing. I got nothing else to back that.
That's a new way of life. Have you guys seen the new show? Well, it's not really that new, but it was on HBO, The Watchmen.
No.
Yes, I did see that. That was. How'd you feel about that? Did you like it?
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. I was actually really entertained by it. But there was that one sense of how it was on Europa, I think it was, where they were doing life and stuff like that. That blew me away. I don't want to spoil too much about it, but yeah, that makes me think of how it would be if we actually started to form a planet ourselves. We would even, I think all the humans would even start to look alike. Like, they wouldn't even look that different from each other because
they're like clones from like a baby tree or something like that, more or less, right?
Yeah, and then after that, they just kind of did their own thing.
Yeah, that was with Jeremy Irons, the original Scar from The Lion King. The voice of Scar.
Nice.
And then also he was the bad guy on Die Hard 2. A Good Day to Die Hard, the one with Samuel L. Jackson. You guys ever seen that one?
No.
I have not either.
That's the one where they set them bombs in them schools. They have to disarm the bombs in the schools.
Why didn't they do that for Columbine?
What?
They had all the resources.
That was people with guns.
Yeah, they had bombs too.
Yeah, that's snap huh? They did.
Just their bombs sucked.
Yeah. They might as well have just taken fucking what are those snap pops things that you throw at people's feet?
Right, yeah. Back away. Back away.
Now, Easter is tomorrow, and usually there's these large gatherings. In fact, do you know about that militia guy who's been doing the Easter thing? Who's going to do the Easter thing? He's that militia guy who went against the government.
Does he paint his bullets pastel colors?
Right. Or like when they explode on impact, it's a colorful color. It's like, yeah.
Yes. Oh, because of Easter. Thank you. Yeah. Yes.
You're forgetting your own setup.
But no, he's actually this militia, I guess, anti-government guy that he got into a standoff with the government a couple of years ago. Do you remember that guy over them grazing lands?
Oh, that dude. Okay, yeah.
Would you
Bundy?
Would you search him up? There's a story about him.
The Bundy Ranch.
Yes, about him still holding an Easter thing. Is that him? Is there news about that?
There might be.
The Bundy Ranch sniper. No, that's not it.
Well, there's this anti-government guy who a couple of years ago had a standoff against the government. And what is it? What's the story?
Oh,
here?
Yeah, I see.
Ammon Bundy. No relation to King Kong or Ted. Vows to defy, what is the order?
Stay-at-home orders. Oh.
No, boo, CNN. Oh, wait. So, do you remember Ammon Bundy? Bundy on hell. Do you remember this guy?
I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at the story, but I don't remember.
Let's see here. So Ida Pimp is one of the 42 states that have implemented stay-at-home order aimed at stopping the spread of coronavirus. Their governor, Brad Little, put that order into effect on March 21st or 25th through April 15th. And this guy, Mr. Ammon, Mr. Bundy, rather, indicates that he will defy this order to have an Easter gathering, I believe.
Yeah, but a lot of people are doing that anyways and not publicizing it. Like, you know how many families are like, "What do you mean you're not coming to Easter dinner?" Like, I've seen plenty of people say that their family members are giving them guff for that.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, "I just need an excuse not to go anyways," and this is a perfect one.
That makes sense.
Do you do an Easter thing on hell? What's your Easter usually been?
I really recently I have not. It's just been just whatever happens on Sunday. Probably just do a stream or just play guitar or something, you know.
Fucking and socking
and trying to chase tornadoes.
Can we go back to the story, Alan?
Oh yeah.
So I can read that. Let's see here. Let's see. As of Thursday evening, Idaho had at least 1,354 confirmed coronavirus cases and 24 coronavirus-related deaths. Bundy, 44, didn't seem concerned about the possibility of catching or spreading the novel coronavirus. I actually want the virus, he said. I'm healthy. My family is healthy. I'd rather have it now so my body is immune to it.
Oh.
That's not really the way it works, but okay.
It's funny how many people justify their health, even though they're like, you know, qualifying age factors or risk factors. They're like, but I'm healthy for my age. It's like, you're 73. Shut up.
Yeah, and then let's see. You may remember Mr. Bundy because in 2016, he led an armed occupation of federal land in Oregon. Many of my minority friends say, how the fuck do you occupy an area of land and not wind up in fucking jail? Well, you be a militia guy.
Yeah, and they shot a cop and killed him.
Did they?
Yeah, they were him and other people, 15 other people were indicted by a federal grand jury, but were later acquitted.
Holy shit.
Like, you think a standoff would be the time to make an example of people.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Jesus
Not to acquit
Christ.
them.
In 2016, Ammon Bundy is the son of Nevada rancher Cliven Bundy.
And local scarecrow, look how dusty he is.
Who in 2014 engaged in a protracted battle with the Federal Bureau of Land Management over grazing rights for his cattle.
See, he was going after BLM, but he picked the wrong BLM. It turns out it wasn't the one he hoped.
During that time, the Bundys attracted national attention for refusing to pay the federal government more than $1 million in grazing fees. Thank you, Ellen. The Boise Police Department confirmed that it is aware of Bundy's plans to organize. It said it does not have any additional information or details about the proposed event to pass along at this time. I wonder what they're going to do.
With Easter?
No, the Boise Police Department. What are they going to do? Are they going to show up with just shotguns and be like, take the kids out first?
That would be hilarious if it's another standoff just for Easter.
That would be, that would suck. That'd actually be like kind of shitty. Like, what the fuck? Like, could have been easily avoided very simply.
Now, I don't know Jesus personally. I did at one time accept him into my heart as my Lord and Savior.
Did he also take the wheel?
No, not so much.
Was
Not
there one set of footprints in the sand?
Not for my DUI, and not for the DUI test either.
You and John Jones too, man.
He didn't help at all for that.
He didn't. I didn't really pray. I just it was like, oh. Anyway, so I don't know Jesus but personally, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he would not want people to gather if it's unsafe.
Well,
just knowing what I know about Jesus.
Today they just posted that like stupid alert or whatever that you were supposed to stay in home even from church. Like you shouldn't go to church tomorrow at all. You should stay home. And they posted that, those stupid alerts that you get on your phone and shit like that.
Yeah,
and it was a little late too because a lot of people here go to church on Saturday. Fucking evangelist. Saturday evangelist, man. My grandpa is one of them, and he, I'm sure, has such a problem. I've heard that some of my grandparents are in their 70s. They regularly travel out of country to like Africa to go to people and be like, we're going to tell you about God, and if you reject this, you're going to go to this place that we just told you about. And so they usually just do all these ministering all over the place, and they've been doing that even up until like last week. And they're like, oh, I guess this is kind of serious now.
Now it's something we need to be concerned about.
Yeah, now it became the #1 cause of death in the country.
Did you see that we actually overtook Italy today?
Yeah, another thing we're better than them at.
No, don't say it like that.
Making better spaghetti and pizza, and we die better.
Oh, man. So, yeah, that was a kind of a disheartening thing to see today. I was just like, no, what's going on?
What's the most irresponsible thing you've witnessed by someone who maybe isn't following coronavirus practices? Like maybe just in the general public, you saw someone, like touching their face and then touching other people's faces or something.
I've been weirded out that people are still using like the bike trails or the running trails and still like kind of more than like 2 to 3 people like running together. And, you see them kind of like, oh, there's 4 people running in one direction and another 3 running in the other direction. Obviously, they're all intermingling together. And how many people have they encountered throughout that run? So that's been one thing that I've been kind of like, can you not like work out at your house or something? Like, whatever happened to the good old fashioned jump rope?
Yeah, well, I that's a good point. I have to tell you, I do most of my running at like 6 or 7 when there's no one else on the trails. But I do see people running very closely together, even passing towards each other. When I run past someone, on the rare occasion that I do pass someone, I'll cover my mouth because I just don't I'll put my shirt up over my mouth just because I don't want to breathe in their area.
I hear you.
But I do my best to avoid everybody. And it's just me, but I do see a lot of people that come in closer contact. I was driving by a store today and I saw we're getting takeout and they were still bunched up together like at the takeout counter. And I was like, that's not, everything's supposed to be curbside service, I think is what it's supposed to be for the most part. These people were all in a cluster, I tell you.
Just like trying to get what they wanted.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love how you asked me, like, what's the one thing that annoys you about it right now? And it's like, oh, people running in groups.
Yeah, I do that just by myself, though. But I play basketball, too. Like, I don't know. I guess if you don't wash your hands and you touch your face after you bounce your basketball, you could get the Rona from it.
The Ronies.
But I play basketball by myself, and usually that's I'm pretty careful about washing my hands afterwards. But at the same time, that's another thing you're doing to put yourself at risk. They have us wearing masks at work like it's a requirement. And I heard Bill Maher talk about how in California, if you're in public, I think it's a requirement. Is that have you heard that? Or
if it's a requirement, they better fucking provide something. Because where the fuck are you supposed to buy masks?
See, and I heard there was other places too where they were telling like workers and stuff not to like wear masks. They're like, don't wear masks because you're freaking people out. You're freaking them out way too much. You can't be wearing the mask that much. Or like even in like basic hospital jobs and stuff, like you shouldn't be like. That's what I found was so weird about it. Is like if we're like really trying to prevent it, but yet you're telling like actual workers that like work in the medical field or like kind of in the medical field, like we actually were encouraged to wear the mask, but it was not mandatory until recently. Now it became mandatory, which it should have been more mandatory since the beginning of this whole thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think the more we've found out about it, the more they've like kind of slowly put these things in place. And now it's kind of like you should be doing everything pretty much. But I don't know. Hopefully that curve flattens. One of the things that I've been listening to or doing a lot is listening to some more classical music. And delving a little bit into that. And recently I've been doing or listening to a lot of Beethoven or Beethoven, as the layperson says. And after studying, up on his life and listening to a few of his symphonies, for more than, probably, more than a dozen times. Are you a fan of Beethoven?
Yeah, I've know a couple of his things on guitar, like, some little licks and stuff like that, but dude,
that's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. Like, dude, some of the composers back then did so much work that is just like mind blowing that nobody can even really fathom how much it took into it and stuff. Like, I feel like a composer back then was a super, super genius person. And now those composers that we find now are like rare in themselves, when back then they were kind of like more paraded and stuff. But here we're just like, oh, this guy makes all the music for Justin Bieber, but we'll never know the guy that makes the music for Justin Bieber, because he's a pretty good composer that does more than just make Justin Bieber music.
Yeah. Well, and how crazy is it that Mozart and Beethoven, like two of the greatest composers ever, came up so close together? Like two people coming into history so close together. That's pretty amazing. Two talents like that.
That's pretty. That's so cool.
The more I read about Beethoven, from the fact that, you know, he was this brilliant composer and his dad really pushed him. I guess there are rumors that part of the reason he went deaf is because his dad kicked or beat the shit out of him.
Wasn't some of the other ones like syphilis?
Some of it was that, but some of it is just, you know, that it may have been a natural condition. So no one really knows for sure. But they said he had most of his hearing until he could hear fairly okay, I guess. Could hear most things up until like 1809. But here you have this brilliant guy who, I guess he was kind of an asshole. Like, first of all, he drove his son, well, not his son, but his brother's son, to a suicide attempt. And I guess
It's nice that he gave him a ride.
Yeah, he did. Didn't make him call Uber. So he did what his dad did to him. He pushed him so hard that when it turned out that his nephew was a shitty pianist, he wanted to kill himself. Whereas he's fucking Beethoven's nephew. What the fuck do you expect? I'm not Beethoven. I'm your nephew, you know? So it was one of those things where he tried to kill himself, and Beethoven really kind of bummed him out, I guess you could say. And so
I realized he should have tried less on his music.
Yeah.
Make everyone look like fucking assholes who can't compose.
Well, and he did things like he would throw temper tantrums when he would get into disagreements and like erase people who he had dedicated a symphony to and like rededicate it to someone else, like shit like that.
It's a total Trump move.
Oh yeah, dude, he kind of was like a Trump behavior guy. Like he said that his brother's his dead brother. He said that his dead brother's widow was a whore.
Oh, that whore.
she didn't deserve to have their son as a son, so that he should probably take over the son. And then he was such a prick to that guy, you know, his nephew, that he, you know, killed him or tried to kill himself. So he was, and like in certain aspects, when you read about Beethoven, you're like, holy fuck, this guy was an asshole to a lot of people. But then you weigh that against the fact that Symphony Number 9, Number 5, 6, 4,
Mambo Number 9.
Yeah, a little bit of Monica on my side.
God, he's amazing. The shit he comes up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes up with this fucking brilliant music that is so intricate, has so many pieces to it, is so revolutionary. He was one of the first people to do choruses, like choral, like voice in their symphonies, to have choral performances, and it was performances by choruses, I guess. Is that the same thing?
Choirs. It's a choir.
No, I feel it's more of an African American thing, like in a church.
You're talking about a group of people singing, right?
In classical music, yeah.
Because like in the Roman literature, a chorus was just people telling a story.
Yeah, I think it'd still be a choir singing.
Okay,
take that.
He was one of the first composers to do that, and just when you look at how he affected music for the every piece of music that came out after that, you know, has something to do with all these classical composers. It's pretty fucking nuts, right?
It's pretty crazy.
I guess if you're a huge prick, as long as you don't kill anyone, I guess is that. But then what if you're a molester? Like what's his face?
Chester.
Chester. No, who's that guy? Ignition Remix.
Oh, Kelly.
Yeah, what if you have one really good song like Ignition Remix, but you molest all them people after that? I guess, is it a scale where you weigh what horrible shit they did versus how many hits they came out with?
It's like, at least it was a remix. It wasn't like something that we have to like that was part of his whole music thing. I don't know.
I don't know. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is cancel culture is kind of big today. And Beethoven would definitely have been canceled, I think, after his nephew tried to commit suicide.
He wouldn't have heard about it, though.
No, he wouldn't have heard about it. You're right. Well, maybe for a few years.
Yeah.
And then he'd
take a long time for that word to travel.
Yeah, so if you get a chance, there's this movie called Immortal Beloved. It's about Beethoven as Gary Oldman, and it's pretty good movie. That's one of the movies I checked out in addition to listening to more Beethoven recently.
Nice.
But yeah, anyway, I think we're getting close to the end of this. So you got anything else on there? Anything you want to get to on Hell?
I mean, just hanging out. Make sure to be safe and all that good stuff. I mean, there's always something to talk about. There's always something to go on. So if you guys ever want to do this again, get some things going, I'm down.
Yeah, of course, man.
Tiger King. Go watch Tiger King. Go follow those stupid memes. I swear, I kind of want to just like
new episode tomorrow.
Is there really?
Yeah, new episode.
Holy shit.
Did they know they were like, is it a plant? Is it like a thing where it blew up? Fuck, we got to get something.
And then they slapped it together real quick.
Okay.
That's what I'm guessing.
Interesting.
That bitch Carol Baskin ain't in it, though.
That's going to be good. And how bad do you feel like it's been blowing up everywhere? Like a bunch of like comedian podcasters are having like those guys on their podcasts and stuff now. Like I was watching Doc Antle on the Theo Von podcast.
Brings a fucking chimpanzee on with him.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous. I was just like, holy shit. But I love the questions that he asked, like how do you end up controlling all those women? And he just like plays it off where it's just like, oh no, that's not what I do. Blah, blah, blah.
Would you ever have a monkey if you felt it was a docile monkey who wouldn't eat your genitals and rip your face off?
I would totally have a monkey. I think that would be a cool pet.
It would be cool to have you ever see that episode of The Simpsons where Homer gets that helper monkey, Mojo?
Yeah.
And then he just feeds it a bunch of junk food until it has health problems.
And then,
Marge walks in and the monkey's wearing a diaper and she's like, why is that monkey wearing a diaper? I thought it was house trained. And Homer's like, meh.
Yeah, I love that part.
Oh, it was great. Well, shit. Yeah, man, it was definitely great to do this joint cast. Although there was no joint shared, it was a nice joint cast.
Yeah,
joint cast go.
Yeah, first time for me, guys. So thank you for like, I honestly can like see what I did now and kind of like work on some things and stuff. Can kind of make it a little bit better for next time because you were on my side too, but on a screen like a TV screen that I have in the view, and it just looks like you're like one of those witness protection unit guys who's just like you're talking. I can't see your face though. That's the crazy thing about it. But it's just the way that the camera angle and stuff is. It's weird.
Let's do a video visit for bail here. Yes, Your Honor. Or like one of those video visits.
Or you just want your identity saved, but you still want to just rat on everybody. You're like, I'll tell you everything you want to know, but I don't want my face out there.
Yeah, I wanted Takashi 6ix9ine everybody. Alan Plugola.
I got nothing except I put out another video bonfire clip yesterday. What's up?
Not boo that. That's been getting thousands of views, right?
This one got 1,000 overnight, yeah.
Nice. Check that out. That is available on
Alan Clark Films on YouTube.
Legit.
Nice. All right. Well, I can't wait till shit opens back up and we get to performing together and comedy's back. And I think people are really going to come out. A lot of people are going to come out to see local comedy. People are going to miss out so much that it's going to be a great thing. So we have that to look forward to. And keep in mind that if this was going to happen at any time in history, now's the time for this shit to happen because we can fucking take it on. This happened 50, 100 years ago, totally fucked.
50, 100?
Yeah, 50, 100.
50, 100.
So, hey, stay healthy, my friends. Next week, Rusty Rutherford. Thank you on Hal. You have a great evening, man.
You guys take it easy, man. Thanks again.
See ya.
Peace.
Okay. And nice. We're off.
Cool.
All right, I'm still on, guys, so I'm just going to end this call, and I'll talk to you guys later, all right?
This is the extra part.
This is the extra. I'm just going to recap on what I learned today and talk about everything that I want to do next time.
Nice, man. Well, it was a great job, Judd. It was a lot of fun, man.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks again, guys.
All right, see ya.
Peace. Whoa, there it was, guys. We did it. The podcast. That was my first time doing that kind of podcast. I've never been able to really do like a Skype call podcast for the first time, but doing it this way is actually pretty legit. I'm going to try to have a little bit more on there, try to get some more done. But I had fun, had a great time. Those guys are awesome. Make sure to go check them out. Potential Problems podcast, and just listen to the podcast, and you'll hear a bunch of random stuff that we talked about. It's a good time. Good time out there, everybody. Remember to be safe. Be nice to each other, all that good stuff. If you're not following me or subscribed, you should be. Make sure to check me out. MuseMe TV everywhere. Social media, MuseMe TV on Twitter, MuseMe TV on Instagram. Also got a dope Twitch channel. I'll be streaming tonight. MuseMe TV. We'll be playing some guitar and also be playing some Fortnite. So tune into that stuff. And peace, because the next podcast is happening sometime in the near future. I need to plan these out better. I just end up doing them at random times and stuff, but you know, that's how it goes. Thank you guys for joining. I just exited out and I didn't even leave. Peace. I'm out of here.